Aloha, friends and neighbors. Rollin Frost here, Kona astrologer. This is Chief Seattle. I think one of the best quotes from Chief Seattle is about animals. He said, if all the animals on the earth were gone, man would die of a great loneliness. Well, we're about to do show 1037 for you. 1037 weeks I've served you. Happily. Gives me something to do. Makes me feel like I'm needed. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, gee, we just got you out of that horrible September because of the eclipse and Neptune and Saturn. Nice new moon, sextile Saturn for 2 weeks. And now we're going to have a full moon that's going to put you back in the weird area. This full moon is going to happen to you Saturday. It's a full moon at 23 degrees of Aries, and it conjuncts Uranus. Uranus is, of course, the guy that rules electricity, weird different things. He's Aquarius. Yeah, so we're going to have an Aquarian month, but the full moon is on Uranus, which makes him larger than life, over-emotional, lunacy. So exaggeration, emotional exaggeration about Uranus things, which can bring a lot of stuff. One of them is loneliness, like Chief Seattle said. Half of you are going to feel like you want to go join, what did I just get? Sierra Club, hooray! And half of you are going to feel like you want to hide out in the cave. And this is normal for a full moon on Uranus. It's going to get shaky. You're bound to have some electrical, mechanical problems, things that go around. Airplanes, trains, buses, stuff like that are all a little questionable. But, you know, it is a full moon. And so we're not going to be happy with the things that Uranus does. Classically, that's a strike. And the employees decide to go on strike, and you can't catch the train to work. Stuff like that. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of things that are going to come up on this full moon. I started making a list. It's a month of Aquarian stuff. Electrics. It makes for little tornadoes and hurricanes and quakes, things that go around. And strikes. People get together and say, we need to be treated better. And we all got together and we're going on strike. A lot of common sense comes up. You know, you can see right through all the BS the papered PhDs have given us. I mean, wow, you really think civilization began only 4,000 or 5,000 years ago? No. Bosnia pyramids 30,000, 40,000 years old. You know, I think there's been civilizations around for a long time, but every 25,000 years or so, something happens. A meteor hits, there's a big disaster, and we got to kind of start all over again. And anyway, it's not what they told you in school. Sorry. Common sense will prevail. A big thing about Uranus, it's all about the environment. It's what we all share together, the air, the water, the land, the police departments, yeah, and civil rights, what we all share. You know, I don't care whether you're black or brown or yellow or red, or I'm all, you know, to me, I'm prejudiced for, you know, American Indians, Hawaiian Indians, Mexican Indians, Aztecs, Hawaiians, you know, the Shawnee, the Pawnee, I love seeing Standing Rock. All those people get together. That's the only way things happen. When you really get together, the civil rights thing happens and the environment stuff happens. And remember what happened to Nixon. You know, Nixon, he's so feared that these two groups were going to get together. Oh boy, the greatest fear ever. The evidence came up. Nobody's going to talk about this. Ehrlichman was dying, and so he told the truth. He said Nixon officially declared a war on drugs, not just pot, but also opiates. And the object was to terrorize the civil rights, the blacks, because they like their opium. Opium's a great drug. It helps you sleep and gets rid of pain. It's much better than the chemicalized corporate painkillers. and it ain't that hard to get off of. Tobacco's a lot harder to kick than opium is. Anyway, and pot. Oh boy, we got the environmentalists on the run. We'll invade their houses. We'll put them all in jail. He said, we knew we couldn't make it illegal to be against either the war or to be black, but by getting the public to associate the hippies with marijuana and the blacks with heroin, and then criminalizing both heavily, we could disrupt those communities. We could arrest their leaders, raid their homes, break up their meetings, and vilify them night after night on the evening news. Did we know we were lying about the drugs? Of course we did. I've grown up in this madness that Nixon did. You know, I even had the police break into my home. Another home I had a policeman, you know, break a few of my bones. I mean, this has not been a good country since Rich and Nixon decided to go after these groups. So, civil rights and the environment, it's time we got together, folks. It's time all the hippies got together with all the people who have lost civil... Well, the hippies have lost more civil rights and... Nah, not more. But us environmentalists, we're having it tough too, just like the rest of you here. We got to get together, folks. Now, Uranus can do that. Sometimes it does it the hard way. The wind comes, trashes your electricity. You have to go out and cook up the steak in your fridge because it stopped, and you meet your neighbors. Share those steaks. You know, shakings, hurricanes, earthquakes. It seems like they're all disasters, but they create brotherhood. You find out who your neighbor is. So this is a little overdone for the month with a full moon on Uranus, but there'll be a lot of it around. It's really, what did I say over here? It's a month of strange, weird surprises. There'll be UFOs and stuff like that, weird stuff. But basically, it's a wake-up call from the heavens. Wake up! Things are going on here. You're likely to see more of them. Oh, I have another note up here. Why should there be more earthquakes? Well, global warming, not climate change, just global warming is melting a lot of the ice on Greenland and on the poles. And you know, if you look at the crust of the earth here, and it's got this big, huge hunk of ice on it, let's melt the ice off. You know what happens? The crustal plate goes up. And then all the water from the ice goes in the ocean, you know, and so the tides have more water and they're stronger. And they press down on the crust and they let up on the crust. And there's less weight on the plates. You know what happens? Crustal plates go up, and you get more earthquakes. And that's what we're looking at for a while. So don't be surprised. Uranus likes earthquakes. All right, let's go to the sky mirror here and see what we can find out about the day-by-day experience that you will have over this stuff. We're going to run the moon around the edge of this planetary pattern, and as it makes angles to these bodies, these are the actors on the stage, your world tends to resonate, let's call it. So, may not be your chart now, but if you're out in public, you'll see. And if you're on the Thursday show, well, you still got the moon in Pisces. It's relatively mellow. But as soon as you hit Friday, and in the morning when you wake up Friday, here's the moon goes into Aries right here. And as soon as it does, it starts to get zappy and electric. And you're in the full moon zone. It's complicated. Got a lot of planets here. Let's see if I can unscramble this. It starts off Friday about noontime or in the afternoon, and there's a trine to Venus. And we're relaxing and we're looking for sugar and sweets and love and sex. Oh boy. And then there's an opposition to Jupiter. Everybody wants too much. Eek. That's Friday evening. And then here's Mars. Mars is getting grabby and angry. The moon squaring Mars. Everybody wants to go to fight, you know, flight. Get out and fix something. And finally, here's a square to Pluto, a little panicky stuff. Territoriality. So this is a day for road rage and people losing their tempers. And you know, the closer Mars gets to Pluto, the less control over your adrenals you'll have. And you can see you're starting here, and about in the middle of your next, towards Wednesday, Thursday or so, the Mars is going to be right by Pluto, and there'll be angry Plutos, and there'll be police getting angry, and there'll be radical sports guys who decide they're going to do revolutionary stuff. And I like that. They just sit down and say, "This reminds me of Cassius Clay." My old friend. Anyway, this Mars going by Pluto, you're going to notice it. You'll notice that you'll have more trouble with temperature and more trouble with your energy. What the old Indian said, there's two dogs in front of you. One's a nice dog. He helps you. You know, the other's a mean dog who snaps and bites. Which dog do you feed? Don't feed the biting dogs, because they'll bite back here on Friday. Everybody will feel like biting on Friday the 14th. And by the time you get to Saturday, well, here's an opposition to Mercury in the morning. We're not talking. Where's the kids? There's too much noise. And then here's the full moon. It's Saturday after lunch, probably before dinner, but that full moon, let's see, I got it down here. It's 6:23 p.m. The full moon is exact. But it'll be there all day Saturday. So you could have a sense of jitteriness, a sense of aloneness, or you could decide to join the human race and stop the oil companies from taking the last of the oil out of the ground, and stop the military from using half of all our spendable budget on the war machine. And there's a lot of things that need to be stopped, especially in our country, folks. And you'll begin to see them all here after this full moon. Because some people are going to speak out. I know I'm being forced to speak out in my life. I had a bad neighbor spraying me with pesticides. Anyway, nasty. Saturday. Sunday mellows out right away. You wake up, the moon's in Taurus. Seems like it's settled down. Maybe you're out of the electric zapping zone. But if you're working on electricity, I'd keep one hand in my pocket. So if you get a zap, it goes down through your leg and it won't hurt you none. It doesn't go from one arm into the other arm, go through your chest cavity. And even if you're super healthy, it can fibrillate your heart. If somebody around doesn't know CPR, you're in trouble. So Uranus can be, difficult too. Anyway, by the time you get to Sunday afternoon, well, here's a sextile to Neptune. There's music, religion, art. The pastor says it's okay. There's a trine to Mars. Onward, Christian soldiers. I don't like this too much. I don't like Neptune thinking they can fight. And here's finally a nice trine to Pluto. Happens late Sunday night, early Monday morning, and we feel like we have control. So there's inspiration, then there's heroic activity, in the evening of Sunday, and finally late or early Monday morning, the 17th, we feel like we've got control of it all. Can you control Uranus? Can you control an earthquake? I don't know. So you'll still feel pretty good as you go through Monday. It isn't until Tuesday, that things stiffen up a little bit. Early Tuesday morning, this is like 3 a.m. Tuesday morning, there's an opposition to Venus. So don't try to stay in bed Tuesday and relax. There won't be any sweets in relaxing Tuesday morning. Sorry. It gets confusing Tuesday night. Here's the old Neptune-Saturn square that bugged the hell out of you in September. Confusion. Here's the judge. Here's the CEO. The managers are still in confusion. They said left and they meant right. It happens really late Tuesday. First, this is interesting. Here's Jupiter comes in. So everybody thinks that there's wise words and the lawyers have conquered them all. And, it turns out that's where the confusion starts. Don't get sucked into it because, you won't be able to solidify anything that goes on here Tuesday. Nope. On Wednesday the 19th, Well, we're back in a nice wake-up zone. The moon in Gemini. The Gemini is this whole section here. The moon in Gemini makes a nice sextile to Uranus. There's some brotherhood. All we got to do is check the connections. It's always in Uranus doesn't work. Twist the connectors. Take the plug out. Let it rest. 30 seconds. Put the plug back in. Stuff fires right up. Of course, you can also have problems, you know, up here on this full moon, like solar flares that'll zap your electrical stuff. I tell you, on Saturday, I would tend to turn off my electronics and unplug my computer just to be extra safe. And you'll be glad you did on Wednesday. Wednesday you said, oh yeah, I felt the brotherhood. Uranus is pretty good. You can talk about it too. Here's a trine to Mercury. Good communication, transportation. Airplanes are back flying. We're all getting the job done. About midnight here, there's a nice trine to the sun. We all feel we accomplished something. Not bad. On Thursday, October 20th, we've got the moon going into Cancer. And it's a mixed bag on Thursday, because here after dinner, there's a trine to Neptune, and we all go into belief. The doctor knows what's best, you know. The king is wonderful. But there's something going on. There's a square to Jupiter, and there's too much pumping it up. What do you mean the lawyers want half? You know, so this is not a clean moment of inspiration. You're going to tend to overdo it late Thursday night. Watch out what you're inspired about. Friday morning, well, here's Pluto, and Mars is there with him, and it happens early Friday, and you could have trouble when you wake up or during breakfast or even right up through the middle of the day with your own temper. You know, if Mars is not controllable, ask yourself what you're protecting. Mars is basically, he's a hero. He's an agricultural god. He's not a soldier that goes and hurts people. The Roman army was successful. All they did was build roads and aqueducts. What does our army do? Destroys things and hurts people. So we got a bad dog in the military. Your good dog now, he wants to fix things. So if you feel irritated or angry or impatient, the bad dog in you is starting to come out. Ask yourself what you're protecting. The dog doesn't know what he's protecting, so he's barking. And, you know, once you figure, you may have to ask yourself that question several times. What am I protecting? What am I protecting? When you finally get it clear, there's a physical thing to do. Yes, you got to put a little muscle into it. and you can fix it. And as soon as you realize how to protect, what you're protecting, how to go about it, what the job is, the anger goes away instantly. It's an instantaneous transformation of your Mars energy. And your adrenals and your testosterone start to work in your favor. I'll just go fix that thing. Get off your butt and go fix it. You know, if you don't, look out. You're going to wind up with a bad dog, and you may be barking at the wrong thing here with your Mars. So you know, it's a test, right? And it's going to come on Friday really strong when the moon opposes it. Nobody is happy with the young guys losing their temper, or anybody losing their temper. And everybody's a little scared Friday morning, huh? And then Friday afternoon and evening, here's the square to Uranus. And here's electrical things are going out. We feel alone. We've had a fit of temper tantrums. And eek, you know, now you're in the zone here all day Friday. You notice these are bad Fridays. This one was bad here on the 14th. Moon goes around and hits it on this Friday. You get another freaky Friday. Don't depend on electrical things. Twist the plugs. Twist, you know, it's in the connections. So, you know, you may feel alone, a little jittery Friday afternoon. Not a good time to go out and be dependent on your car battery or anything like that. And there's going to be road rage out there Friday. There's going to be people running around all ticked off who can't control their bad dog. You know, yes, dogs are Mars, whether you know it or not. Cats are Venus, dogs are Mars. So this whole feeling continues right through Saturday morning. When the moon shifts into Leo, it throws a square to the sun, 90-degree square. Can't get nothing done Saturday. Sleep in if you can, okay? Saturday gets better as you go all the way through to dinner time. And here's a trine to Venus. And there's some sweets and a little love around your table. This is a fairly good time. If you've gotten over the jitteriness and the anger of Friday and the frustration of Saturday morning, well, it's a good time to be with somebody you love here Saturday night, even into Sunday. So Saturday night is a Venus time, huh? That's the 22nd of October. On the 23rd, the moon's still in Leo. First, it makes a nice sextile to Jupiter. Wisdom. Da-da-da-da, the lawyer said. Oh, now we understand. Da-da-da-da, the judge says. And Saturn clicks in and says, I agree with that. Let's make a good law. Let's take some of these bad laws away. They never take bad laws away. They just sit there and fester. Anyway, hopefully there's some good things happening. But if it doesn't, late Sunday night, this is 2 a.m., so we're talking midnight, 1 a.m., the moon trines Uranus, and you'll have thoughts of how to organize, and get something done for the good of the civil rights for all of us, and the environment for all of us. That's what this is about. It's time we got to stand up for the environment and for the rights of all people. Doesn't matter who they are, what sex they are, how they dress, anything like that. They're people. They all share the equality. That's Ben Franklin's thing, Jefferson, all these guys are writing up the Declaration of Independence, and they were trying to throw a little religion here. God gave us these rights. And Ben said, no, we're going to talk about inalienable rights we all share. And that stanza is from Ben Franklin. I was going to give you another Ben Franklin. He said, if you survive a shipwreck, that's like earthquakes and hurricanes and things, better you build a lighthouse than a church. He's talking about Neptune. Don't put your money into a church. It wasn't the church that saved you from the shipwreck. No. Put your money into a new lighthouse. Ben Franklin. The Allah, the Hawaiian raven. He's not a crow, he's a raven. Look at his beak. A rounded tail. The Hawaiian raven, there's 109 birds left. The guys in charge of them are pressured by the feds to get their grant and try to reestablish them in the wild. They never were wild. Captain Cook said 200,000 people lived along the west coast of Oahu. The most common house pet was a large black bird. Very smart, talk like crazy. The smartest bird in the world. And they're being treated like a wild animal and thrown out into the jungle. It's not right, folks. If you know anybody in this business, let them know. Finally, here's a look at the astrocartography of this weird moon. Let's see where it might pop up on the Earth. There's really two hot spots. One of them is over here that runs down through Chile and the coast of South America and up through Maine. Take a closer look at that. The other hot spot is over here, Indonesia area. Let's take a closer look at that too. The lunacy on Uranus line runs down through here, see? So we could get a nor'easter. It's a lot of wind that makes a fuss. Down here, there's also a little problem. And then here's the full moon. Uranus runs down through here. Now notice the Pluto-Mars line crosses here. So here is where the real panicky stuff is, on the edge of Bolivia and northern Chile and southern Peru. And there's a real hot spot here. Probably going to be quakes, because this is the edge of the plate. See? Chile's kind of famous for these things too. Now the other hot spot, here's where the shaking and the sense of isolation runs up through here. Goes up, is that Formosa? But here's the other thing, here's the Pluto-Mars. It's on the rising sign. This is, somebody got out the military here. to help with this disaster. So we're looking at disasters. This place is real quaky. Along here, there's where the lines where the tectonic plates are. We've already had major earthquakes that killed people clear over here, with tsunamis. So we got a hot spot here. It's likely to show up in this area for some reason, where the Pluto-Mars is real active. But, you know, Uranus always likes to surprise you. And so, you know, that's the thing about Uranus, is that when it comes on, it's sudden. Uranus is like the TV goes off suddenly. Thing is, this is Uranus on the bottom of the chart, so it's in your home. The electricity went off suddenly. We're isolated at home. Eek. Suddenness. That's the Uranus trademark. They never give you warning that they're going on strike. Then bang, they're on strike and the buses don't operate. It's the way it is with Uranus. There's two organizations I decided to get behind. One was I donated $30 to Sierra Club, and they sent me this nice stuff. The other one was Earth Justice. They replied right away too. But look what the Sierra Club sent me. Now, I've been picking up bees down on Magic Sands Beach, really concerned. They're dying from the nicotine kinds of pesticides people are using on seeds and things. But look what Sierra Club sent me. Bee feed, flower seeds. Ho, 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 ho. Put these out in your garden, make flowers where the bees can have something to eat. It's a weird side effect of Roundup, but it kills the milkweed. Bees eat the milkweed, so there's nothing for them to eat. Anyway, if you want to donate, go to the Sierra Club or Earth Justice, which is a bunch of lawyers that really, those are the ones that are helping in Standing Rock. And got to get together and organize, folks.